Aleko mentioned the situation in Ashraf just now. There are 100 people remain there looking after the properties. Properties, as Aleko said, built up over 25 years. The fixed properties, remembering that this was virtually a city built over 25 years, we estimate could be worth around 500 million euros. Now, Martin Kubler, the UN envoy, is saying because 3,400 people have been already moved to Camp Liberty, and he wants to close the dossier, get the last 100 out so he can proclaim great victory for the UN. Yeah. You know, we have closed Liberty, we have done the bidding of Nouri al-Maliki, who is a puppet, as we know, of the mullahs in Tehran. The UN can wash its hands of the whole affair. All of these people will be crammed into this half square kilometer camp where they formerly were living in a huge sprawling enclave. Now they're crammed into prison-like conditions. This isn't something that we have stated. This is something that a working group of the UN stated. It's prison-like conditions in Camp Liberty. And Martin Kubler says, put all your properties, your movable properties, into one corner of Ashraf, and then we will move the remaining 100 of you to Camp Liberty, and your movable properties will be dealt with properly. I can tell you that the intention of the regime in Iraq, who are now listed internationally and recognized internationally as the second most corrupt regime in the world, only Somalia is more corrupt. They want to rob this property. These people are thieves, and they have stopped every attempt by the Ashraf residents to sell their property. They want to clear the last 100 out in order that they can rob that property and take possession of it for their own good. And, you know, for the UN to condone that action is absolutely outrageous. Martin Kubler should not condone in any way the moving of the last 100 people who are the last protection that that property has until we can ensure that it is properly sold in a fair way. Our estimate is that for the expenses of the people now in Camp Liberty, we estimate that until we can have these people resettled, it's going to cost round about 35,000 euros per person during the next year to look after the welfare and livelihood of these people and to help with their potential resettlement. Well, I don't see the UN rushing forward with a pot of gold saying, we will pay for this. Where are these people supposed to find the money? From the fair sale of their own property and belongings. And that fair sale is being denied them. That right is being denied by the UN envoy, Martin Kubler. And I think that is an absolute disgrace. And Aleko also said, this place, Camp Liberty, or Camp Hurriya, as it's called, has been described by the UN Working Group as a prison-like condition, and yet we continue to allow the UN and Baroness Ashton to refer to it as a temporary transit location, a TTL, a place under terminology used by UNHCR, which means a location where refugees would spend a few weeks before being resettled. We already have had people in there for almost a year, and there is no likelihood of any movement very soon. They are now crammed into this half square kilometre, surrounded by troops, led, as Aleko reminded us, by the leading murderer of the horrible massacre that took place originally in Camp Ashraf. These people are in real danger, critical danger. Now, we cannot sit back and allow Baroness Ashton, who has just been patting everyone on the back in congratulations at the award of the Nobel Prize for Peace. She cannot sit back and ignore this situation. Camp Liberty must be redesignated as a refugee camp. It cannot go on being called a TTL. And once redesignated, it gives protected status completely to the people that are trapped within it. The residents of Ashraf must be able to sell their properties to raise funds they need to meet their day-to-day living costs. And we must not stand back and watch the blatant theft of these properties by the Iraqi government and their Iranian agents.